We have spent a lot of time and effort over long years putting together the disaster response plan, the storm plan as it's usually called. I think it was in very good shape when Katrina hit. We had a very comprehensive plan. People knew what their jobs and their responsibilities were. They knew how to do them. We'd done our homework. We had the staging areas set up. We were ready for it. I think when we realized how bad it was going to be was when we started to see the storm surge pushing toward the plant. I was over in the temporary control center. We started hearing something and realized it was water lapping up against the building. We had to move the monitors and the terminals, the EMS terminals, out of there, up the stairs to the Unit 5 control room to try to save them from the water. And when we got as much of it out as we could, we rode out the storm on the floor there, the turbine floor, looking out the window at 6 feet of water going through the switch yard. So that was a really amazing experience, kind of surreal. EMS was down, most of the communications was down, so it was hard for us to really get a handle on what we had. When the smoke cleared enough to get out, all the vehicles were flooded. It took us a while to get something that was running. To get back downtown, Steve Craig and I managed to get back to the substation headquarters and found a vehicle there that would run. All the windows were busted out of it, but it would run. So we were able to kind of get a handle on a little bit on what was going on around the central Gulfport area that next evening. We knew the storm was going to be bad. I don't think anybody envisioned it being as bad as it was. It took us a while to really get our hands around just how bad it was. The first day a lot of that was spent getting the mechanism in gear. We were pretty successful at getting our damage assessors, our substation assessors out in the field to start to get some intelligence back in on just what we had. So I think that first day, as it usually is, was more about accumulating data on what the situation was. By the start of the second, though, I think things were pretty much in high gear. I think we had never envisioned the entire infrastructure being damaged and torn up to the extent that it was. I think we recognize now that we've got to have backup plans that go still further afield in terms of food, of housing, and that the numbers we had thought were a maximum might not be a maximum. So I think we simply learned that the upper limit may be a little higher than we thought it was. And I think it gets down to Mississippi Power's people and culture. The PCL culture was never more important and never more on display than after Katrina. Everybody knew what they needed to do. They looked around and said, there's the need, and I'm going to go do it. You can't assume an empowered culture if you don't have one day to day. Mississippi Power had one, has one, and that was a huge factor in our success.